Yo, what's up, Facebook Live? We're in the studio right now. You're watching TukkLive Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. We got Marty Heavyhead, mayoral candidate in the studio right now. We're listening to Whitefish Jr. Why don't you hold that up for us there? Right there, hold that up for us. JessFM.ca. Thank you. Perfect. We gotta prop the boss. All right, so okay. Looking forward to getting into. So first, we're just gonna go through some headlines, and then we'll go from there. Let's see.
I don't really know what's going on in the world enough to say. No, yeah, now I'm going to find out.
I'll let you know what's going on in the world.
We kind of have...
Head over, check, mic check. Okay, yeah, that's Whitefish Jr. right there. That was called Warrior's Call. So yeah, we're up here in the booth here. You're listening to Tukk Live. Online Blood Tribe Radio podcast. I got mayoral candidate up here right now. This is Marty Heavyhead. He's going to join me for our broadcast for the first hour. Yes, Jesse, we live right now. The boss man is messaging me up right now. Are you going not talk? What's going on here? Yeah, we live, Jess. Giving you props. All right, so we're going to go through a few of the headlines here that I've been stumbling across here. First thing that I saw was Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump have been in this war of words. It's almost like a big old Facebook or Twitter fight, right? Where they message like, "I'm gonna kill you." But they keep taking turns giving these big speeches, and Donald Trump basically said he's gonna blow up North Korea, bring wrath down, blah blah blah. And Kim Jong-un gave his own speech to his people. And part of his speech he called, well, right here, I'll just read it to you. The headline says, Donald Trump is a mentally deranged U.S. dotard, says Kim Jong-un. A dotard. Now, I pride myself on being able to, insult people. And dotard is something that I feel like I'm missing out on. Is this something that the kids been calling each other lately? Is there something that is Kim Jong-un cooler than me? He knows better slang? Cause you ever heard of what's a dotard? You ever heard of that?
I don't know what a dotard is. I've been hearing about this, and it's something that's been, I was talking with my buddy about it today, and Neil deGrasse Tyson had said that we're witnessing the unraveling of an informed democracy. And, maybe, I understood that Trump was going to win a while ago. Maybe, 4 or 5 months into the campaign, because I used to live in the United States, and I knew the kind of psychological terror that people are in all the time there. And he's somebody that, they were primed for him. They were primed for something exactly like him to come along. The wave was up there. And part of it too is like this kind of conspiracy media, this like Alex Jones and saying that, FEMA has concentration camps and so on and so forth. So they have this, they're primed for him. And now we're seeing the results of this. And it's bizarre and frightening because, he actually has nuclear bombs that he can use.
I know that's the crazy thing about it, eh? We fight and argue with our friends on Facebook, I'm going to beat you up, I'm going to catch you over here, blah, 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 right? These guys have nuclear arms that can blow up the world, and they're fighting like this on Facebook and YouTube or whatever.
You cannot hug people with nuclear arms.
Cannot hug people?
I stole that joke from somewhere.
That's so clever.
It's not mine. I stole it from some other place.
Oh, hey. Come on in. You, Courtney.
I know Courtney.
Oh, yeah, you know Courtney.
Yeah, Courtney's an artist.
Yeah, Courtney from Beat Route Magazine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we live right now. We Facebook Live. We talking about Kim Jong-un and Trump's little war of words. This is what Un said. He said, Trump insulted me and my country in front of the eyes of the world and made the most ferocious declaration of a war in history. He also said, I will make the man holding the prerogative of the supreme command in the U.S. pay dearly for his speech, which he called unprecedented rude nonsense. And he also said, I will surely and definitely tame the mentally deranged U.S. dotard with fire. Dotard. I can't get over it. I know it scares the crap out of me that this Twitter war can end in nuclear warfare, but still, dotard? I'd hate for the world to end over dotard. Yeah, sorry.
You'd want it to happen like something a little more,
smart,
something magnanimous, something like really dramatic. Like the sky opens up and then 4 horsemen are going across the sky and there's horns.
There's a book. There's a book on that.
Yeah, like the devil's on a mountain. There's fire and brimstone.
Hey, you know what? That's a good segue. I want to let everybody know out there that tonight, Tukk Live, it's our last show ever. Yeah, because on the 23rd, the world's going to end.
Oh.
It is.
Isn't that today? Tomorrow?
No, I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow.
That was actually our last update was end of the world show.
Yeah, this is the thing. The people are prophesying that the world's going to end on September 23rd, and it has to do this thing called the Nibiru prophecy. Nibiru prophecy and Planet X. Apparently, Planet X is going to crash into Earth this tomorrow, and people have some mathematician came up with some numbers that apparently added up to September 23rd, and all the disasters that have been going on in the world lately have something to do with this. I'm trying to find. There's more right there. Trying to find this article here. Nibiru. So, have you heard of this?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yes, we all
have. Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I talked with a lady one time, and she was a neat person. Sorry for using lady. We have all these descriptors for women. We got like 50 descriptors for women. Most of them are insulting and have to do with insulting a woman.
Patriarchy.
And about patriarchy, about, controlling them. And then there's like 10 descriptors for guys. But then, so to use lady is like, oh, so a nice lady. So I'm going to shut up. I catch myself with that now. At any rate, I was talking to this woman, and she had said, don't ever be afraid of the end of the world, because every day is the end of the world, because every day everything changes. And it's kind of neat to think about that, because there's this, I can't remember the exact name of it, but there's the 5-minute hypothesis in philosophy. And so they say, prove to me that that everything in the universe, everything that's in existence, did not just pop into existence in the last 5 minutes. And so the point is you can't, because any evidence that you support, so, well, that just popped up 5 minutes ago.
Right.
So the reality of this is that because all atoms, everything is undergoing radioactive decay, that if you could, like carbon dating, radioactive decay. So if everything has if these have a half-life, then mathematically, if you could, measure something out that way, then you could parse it down, get it down to how much you could count, in theory, how much that atom has changed in, a few seconds. So really, because everything is undergoing entropy and decay, nothing is the same as it was 5 minutes ago. So wherever you put a starting point in the continuum, then it was 5 minutes ago that everything started. Because wherever you want to take a snapshot into the continuum, you get what I mean? No, maybe I thought about it too much, I know.
No, I probably did.
It's an interesting thing. So it's like it's not wrong, but it's not right, but it ain't wrong either.
You always teach me new stuff.
That was my answer to the 5-minute hypothesis.
Okay, yeah, Nibiru, Planet X, Nibiru. But yeah, so anyways, end of the world tomorrow, last show today. So also, what else we got in the news? Right here, I just a little announcement right here. Neither wolf nor dog. Has anybody ever heard of this? Neither Wolf Nor Dog is premiering at the Movie Mill. It's let's see what's it here. Let's read this here. It says here details. A white author gets sucked into the heart of contemporary Native American life in the sparse lands of the Dakotas by a 95-year-old Dakota elder and his sidekick. Adapted from the best-selling Native American novel by Kent Nerburn, once known as the great unmade Native American novel in Hollywood, Neither Wolf Nor Dog has sold around 500,000 copies worldwide. No other novel is acknowledged as so successfully bridging the gap between white America and the Native American world. Strange that I've never heard of it. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
Yeah, Neither Wolf Nor Dog. Who's it starring here? I can't really see it. Post here. But anyways, that's premiering at the Movie Mill. It says right here October 20th to October 26th. So this looks like a good one. So go check that out if you're in the area next week. Neither Wolf Nor Dog. What do we got coming up? We got the Sisters in Spirits vigil going on over here. I remember being a part of this a couple years ago. That's going to be on October 4th. What do you know about Sisters in Spirit vigil?
This was I think originally to bring awareness to the missing and murdered Indigenous women in Canada.
Right.
And like the first time I remember anything coming on about that really was we have a whole bunch of missing and murdered Indigenous women. But I remember this years ago, maybe just before they found out about Robert Pickton.
Right.
Because in Vancouver, they were having these marches all the time. And they're like, we got a whole bunch of women that are missing. And most of them are Native women. And what's going on with this? Mm-hmm. And that's something that we never really talked about after the Pickton trial and finding out everything about him, where he was, finding sex workers, murdering them, and then feeding them to his pigs. And so there's dozens and dozens of women that had gone missing. He was charged with, there's hundreds, I believe, but he wasn't charged with hundreds. He was charged, I think, maybe with 12. Enough to put him away because of the DNA evidence that they found. But after that, then it kind of got national attention, from what I remember anyway, and until it's built up to where we're at with the kind of political, the political slogging. It's like people are stepping through knee deep in mud, and right. For every 2 steps forward, you go 2 steps back. And it's not. It seems like it's not something that's being. It's not something taken as with the amount of gravity that it should be. And so with the Sisters in Spirit, something that really bothered me about the one here, when I went here, see, maybe about 3-4 years ago, I think, 3 years ago, there was a woman, and she asked me, I was walking down the street one day, and there was a group of street people out there, and they had asked me, do you have a smoke? I said, oh, you can't ask me for a smoke. And so then we got into this discussion about why or why not. And because it's a ceremony rule, because of our ceremony, I won't get too much into that. But they said, well, can you pray for us? Can you pray for me? And so I said, yeah, sure. So I started asking, what are your name? What's your name? What's your name? And this woman said, I don't know my name. And I said, well, what is it? And she said, it's Spider Woman. So I just learned how to say that maybe a few days before. And I said, it's Kshuokasaki. I know your name, Kshuokasaki. And so I started saying it.
You just learned it a few days
before?
Just
a few days before. Yeah. Because we have the story of Spider Woman, and she had brought ceremony down, part of our ceremony down from the Morning Star, where the Morning Star lives, right. And she helped bring the woman down. At any rate, so Spider Woman is important in our culture, and so this name is a good name for her. So Kshuokasaki, and I walked away, and then I went to the Sisters in Spirit vigil. So there's all these white liberals all over the place. These left wing, maybe they vote NDP or Liberal or whatever. There are politicians there too. And they're all there lighting candles and being happy and whatnot. And so she walks up. She walks up into the crowd, and the look of disgust on their faces of these white liberals looking at you, looking at her like, oh, she's going to ask me for change, or, oh, she's going to ask me for money. And because she was on the street for a long time. And so when they looked at her, they just had this absolute look of disgust on their faces, and they're sneering at her. And these people were these, progressive types. They're the kind that live, like we should feed the poor and the hungry, and we got to do everything we can, and, vote for whoever is the new left wing, whatever. And so that got me I was livid. I was angry. I was just like, I couldn't describe the kind of feeling that I had inside. And so I'm sitting there looking at it, and she is seriously, she is 100% the reason why they are there, because she was somebody who was at risk of becoming one of these missing and murdered Indigenous women, and not 6 months later she died. She was murdered.
Wow. And
so she was exactly 100% the reason why they were there, but the look on those white people's faces when they looked at her, when they sneered, and when they just thought she was this, that, and the other, it was something that was like, oh my God. So we have these nice visuals, we do these nice things, but in reality, the actual person that you're trying to help, the actual person that this is about, is murdered just a little bit, and you were sneering at her because she's going to ask you for some pocket change for 25 cents. Like, what kind of person... I don't want to get too angry about that, but I feel it right now.
I think a lot of times, too, where we live right here, we're in Blackfoot country, and as Nitsitapi, we see these people on the streets, and I don't think that we really separate ourselves from them.
I don't.
Because a lot of them are our cousins, our sisters, our brothers, our kids, our grandparents. Like my dad lived on the streets for years. You know my dad very well. My grandpa, who was a council member for 15 years, sober for 15 years, did everything, still passed away on the streets. Mm-hmm. So I don't think in Nitsitapi, Blackfoot people, we have that separation when we see people on the streets.
No, I don't at all. That's it's a strange phenomena, because it's something that is very specific in a lot of ways to Lethbridge. Like in other big cities, you have street people, you have homeless people, you have people out there who are addicted, you have people out there who are in poverty, and that's actually the link. The 100% link between all of this is poverty, and that's the overwhelming one. Because it's interesting, when you look at residential school effects, you see the same effects in Ireland. Because when the Catholics and the British went into Ireland, they did the exact same thing. They separated them. Like at Blood Tribe, they had a Anglican and a Catholic residential school, so they split those in half. They split the reserve in half by having St. Paul's and having St. Mary's. So you divide and conquer the people, and it's the same page. It's exactly the same thing, except a few key little beliefs that they.
One was what did you say? One was Anglican.
One was Anglican. One was Catholic.
So as English and French.
Yeah, pretty well. They were the Grey Nuns that were working Sister Thibert.
Yeah. I heard some of the students there, when they learned English, they spoke English with a French accent.
Yeah, Miss Wells, and so the Anataki, she spoke when she would do, she would have tea time.
Yeah.
But she would say Motaka. Motaka. It's like she would, and the Blood Tribe accent is actually a mixture of that English accent that Miss Wells taught and Blackfoot. So that's why we have that kind of when you hear somebody talking from Blood Tribe, that's a mixture of the English accent and Blackfoot, because that's how they learned to speak English.
It's really just kind of changed from Lower Townside.
Yeah, and
Lower Standoff.
I'll tell you, that's where the Blackfoot accent comes from.
All right, we're gonna take a short break, because when I get back, I want to talk about this mayoral race. We got a few questions for you. We're sure proud of you running for mayor. So I want to talk to you about that. Let us know your platform, campaign a little bit if you'd like. But before we do that, pick a song, any song you want to play. What do you want to hear?
Well, what had probably informed my politics from a very, very young age was Man in Black from Johnny Cash. So I want to throw that one on.
Good choice. All right, Man in Black, Johnny Cash. So you're listening to JessFM.ca. Tukk Live, Friday, 7 to 9 p.m.
Do the live version.
The live version with an intro.
Well, that one's a little long.
That's all right.
Whatever
about it. So here's Johnny Cash, Man in Black. You're with TukkLive, Marty Heavyhead. All right. Facebook Live, we're logging out.